I've been super excited to use the new Star Path items, and I finally had the chance to do so when I decorated the Winter Castle in Frosted Heights. So without further ado, let's get on with it. Hello friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you've joined me today. Now, I don't know about the rest of you, but when I first saw the newest round of Star Path items, I'm gonna be honest, I felt a little underwhelmed. Initially, I had thought that I would use the items in my plaza, but after some experimenting, it became fairly obvious to me that that wasn't the right place for them. So off I went to the Frosted Heights, where I quickly fell in love. Today's build also features the Winter Castle, which was a recent offering in the premium shop. If you've watched any of my previous builds, you already know that I love a cluttered, lush-looking valley. Frosted Heights may be a frozen tundra, but I treated it just like every other biome and utilized some of the ice and snow-covered items available in the game. I decided I wanted to keep my path in this area tight and covered. I was going for an overgrown feel, but since this is Frosted Heights, I didn't want to use my usual ferns and grasses and other smaller brush items that I typically use along paths. Instead, I used rocks and snowballs and the Frosted Heights bushes. This is the first time that I've used the snowballs in this way, and I really like the way they look, and they really do help to make the path appear more curved. Another thing that I did is use the frozen willow trees along the path. Not only do I like the way the stump looks when it's butted up right next to the path that I laid down, but I also like the way the branches look over my head when I'm walking through the area. As I was working on the path, I decided that I needed a few pops of color in the area, so I utilized my go-to butterfly flowers. I chose these for the usual reasons, like the amount of space they consume and the fact that you can walk through them, but also because I felt like the purple was the exact subtle pop that I was looking for. When I saw the illuminated deer in the premium shop, I immediately snatched them up because 1, I knew they'd fit in very well with the Star Path items, and 2, because I'm actually a huge sucker for anything with pretty lights. I wanted to build kind of a focal point using them, so to add some depth, I used the white picket fence, and then after I added the blue light post and a few other smaller items, I added some height to the build with the enchanted ice fountain. Along with paths, I decided to go ahead and use the black and white flower rectangles that use the glass flowers that came with the DLC. I really think they fit the vibe of the area very well, and I feel like the glass flowers are perfect for the Arctic temps of Frosted Heights. A few scattered snowballs and the luxury snowflake rug from the Star Path complete this focal area by the castle. I used the blue color filter to start pulling out some other items that I thought I might want to include in this build. By this point, I had been scrolling through the items enough, and I already knew that I wanted to use a couple of the items like the icy fountain and the elegant town square clock in this area, so I got those items out, as well as some more of the Star Path items. Now, I do really like the look of the clock tower on its own, but of course, I had to add in lots of other items for the cluttered look that I love so much. also added some depth to the area by pulling the bench and arch up next to the path and adding some fencing and trees and flowers. I like to have some storage chests outside in each biome, so after I tucked those away, I went back through and added some lighting to the area. One of the things that I really enjoy doing is using the jar lights and focal points for a subtle glow. I then went ahead and grabbed a few more snowballs and added those to the clock tower build. Next, I threw in some butterfly flowers for the pop of color in this area, and then I went ahead and added a couple more bushes as well to fill in the area just a little bit more. Even though we've gotten several new pathing options in the game, I still really like using the small stone clusters to add less traveled paths in my valley. I find that by doing this, I'm helped to make sure that I have access to everything that I might need access to. I really like to make sure that all of the entrances to the different areas of my valley are not only accessible, but also fully decorated. So after extending my path to the entrance that's down in the forest by Elsa's cave, I used the same items that I used throughout the rest of the build for decoration. Along with the usual shrubbery that I use throughout the rest of this build, I decided to go ahead and use the white picket fence on the opposite side of the castle to help define the path. I then went in and added some more of the frozen willows and the snowy pines to fill in the area. looked at the clock tower, the less I liked what I did, so I went ahead and went back in and just rearranged some of the items. Now, normally I would edit out anything that didn't show the final finished build, but I decided to leave it in this time, not only to show a different arrangement option, but also to show that sometimes decorating involves a lot of moving items and back and forth between different areas. The last area in this build is another focal point. This one is located directly across from the castle, and it features the icy fountain from the Frozen collection, as well as some more of the Star Path items. I finished off the build by extending the white picket fence along the other side of the path, and then I added in just a few more trees. If I'm being completely honest with you, Frosted Heights has always been one of my least favorite biomes to decorate, and it has sat in my valley untouched for quite a while. I have done some pretty neat builds up in this area, but for the most part, I ignore it. So I'm very excited that these new Star Path items sparked some creativity for me. I do plan on continuing work in this biome and having it fully decorated, so if you'd like to see part 2 and maybe even a part 3 of my Frosted Heights Winter Wonderland, be sure to subscribe and click the bell to be notified when they're uploaded. Anyway, that's all I had for you today, friends. Until next time, peace out.